Profane friends. Yeah, I've just trained that lady up there. She's like, wow, man. You know, once you train people, and this is what you got to do, you got to train them up to see this symbolism. You know, who's built this, who owns this, you know, and like you know, like this, you know, this is the Masonic cubes that, yeah, with the pyramids. What do you think that is? It's the perfect ashlar sitting with the pyramid. Do you know what I mean? And then you got your two. Look at that window. Look, can you see it? Look, 232 for your first six. Look. Yeah, 232 for your first six, 232 for your second cube, and then right in the middle, 232 for your third cube. That's 3 cubes there, look. 3 cubes of Saturn, because there's 6 sides in the cubes, and they know it makes 666. You see? And they're the buggers that have been wrecking and ruining everyone's lives forever. And you think they're still not controlling you. Of course they are. They're doing it from the Masonic Lodge, and their army is encamped within every Masonic lodge, within every town and city, making sure they're still getting their money and their dues, what they do or what they think they're entitled to, because they have royal blood. Look, 232, 232, and right in the middle, 232, 666, my profane friends. And then what you got on the top there, fleur de pis. What you got on the left side, the obelisk, you see? And then you got your squares and the pyramids above, you know what I mean? And each one, if you notice, is 12, look, you see? Because it gives you the 3, you see? 12, 12, you know, the windows are 12, 2 and 1, 3, you see? But it shows you as a higher rank because they're coming in at 12s. Their windows are 12s and 9s, look. See, 2 9s are 18. What's 2 9s? 2 9s are 18, 8 and 1, 9. So it's 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 all the way across there, you see? Once you start explaining that and showing to people, but that, again, it's another rank of how high this person is, and obviously he's very high because look at how many bedrooms he owns. You see what I mean? So the higher the rank, the more windows you get. See, so the windows are a representation of the rank and the power that person has within our society. You know what I mean? I suppose it's like, you know, you know, the more wealth that you've got, the more shit you've got. You know, like the more bikes or the more cars, the more drives, the more bedrooms, the more toilets you've got. You see what I mean? You know. But all it is now is they do it from Masonic lodges. You know, and as you go up the ranks, they got everyone in your community. You know, oh, you're serving the king, you're serving the queen, you're serving the lord, you're serving the duke. And they look important, they make out they're important, they love bomb them. So they join their army and their gang and they protect them. You know what I mean? Because you're not having that business, you're not having this, you're not having that, unless you know what I mean? And that's all it is. And they're still paying them, you know, the privilege to do naughty things amongst the community. You know, look. See it? What a obelisk with the right on top of the pyramid, with the all-seeing, with the world domination ball. You got the obelisk right on top. Look, see, you can't beat it, my profane friends. You know, look at the windows down there. Look, they're all in blocks of 9. Look, see, all in blocks of 9. See, 3 levels. Look, 3, and then it's 6, 6, 6 all the way down. You see, can't help themselves. Their ranking system knows no bounds within the community, but people walk around, they ain't got a fucking clue. I mean, look at this square and calm piss here. Can you see it there? Let me go back a bit, just get a better picture of it, shall we? Look at that. Oh, right there. Obviously you can see the circle within the circle, and this here, when you square it off, is your square, you see? But what that simplifies is the square and calm piss. I always do it backwards, by the way, you know that. Calm piss, square. See, square and calm piss, that's all that is. And actually, if you look, these, I believe, represents the 33 degrees. And what do I know? They're not telling us, are they? And then you got the little cross here, look. And then you got your pedo swells, you know. It's all symbolism, mate. You know what I mean? I mean, what's that pyramid down there on top of that roof? And the pyramid there that come out of there, you know what I mean? Huh? It's amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Now I'm presuming that these are flats, yeah? Crofter Rye Viewpoint Housing Association. Again, it's the council, yeah? Now, because it's the council, look, the windows are 4 and 2, look, 4 and 2, 6, 6. You see what I mean? It's mad, isn't it? How they get away with it? It's fucking insane. Look, on the side of this building, look. See it, look, the 3 windows. And then it's 5 and 6, 5 and 6. I don't fucking know. What do I know? You know what I mean? I just know these freaktards are lethal within communities, you know. They're not letting anyone through to gain any form or shape of power. And when I've got to here, look, see the windows, look, again, look, the windows, look, 2, 4, 6. How wonderful. 3 levels, 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. You know what I mean? But you try and take that to the Freakmasons, they go, oh no, you're talking rubbish, it's a conspiracy. Or they go, I don't see it, I can't see it. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's fucking insane. Look at this, look, it's, again, look, I can't see it because I'm freaking, it's 3, 3, 3, 3. Why is that always 3? Just what I mean, you know? So, you know, so basically what it is, it's been split in, so you've got 6 on that side, and then you've got 6 on this side, see? So each level, you know, what the hell, do you see what I mean? So it's 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, see? It's built into everything. Wherever you go, it's built in. Mad. But you try telling that to a Freakmason, you know what I mean? That's like all this here, look, the way they bricked it off, look. Yeah, all these bricked off. What is behind these walls? You know what I mean? What food source is in there? You know, obviously the trains are running over it, but no one's going to be allowed to know if there's a secret door here. And trust me, they can make anything look like they want it to, and hide it in plain right. You know, when they use the door here, they'll have a security guard on either end. You know. A master mason and the worshipful masters that go through that wall there, and you wouldn't even know there's a door there. Do you know what I mean? Or where the key is to open it, or the combination you've got to use to get in there. Yeah, look, see, there is, that is, look, you see, there's actually buildings there. But what is in there, you know, what's it being used for? I don't even know where I am. Oh, baby. I don't even know where I am, or I'm looking for a graveyard. Oh yeah, this looks good up here, we'll go up here. But, you know, these places here, like this, you know, you just think it's abandoned. Is it? I don't know. What is it? I don't know. You know, there's, look, all on this window here, everything is clear, look, by the look of things, yeah? But this building has a little 6 points, look. Does that mean anything? Well, to me, I know 6 points make a square and compass. What I mean, but what else is in there? Look, we've got an E and an E. Is that hidden symbolism that they've put there that we don't know nothing about? I don't fucking know, but that's how they do it, you know. Like I said, it's all hidden in plain right. It's not just, you know, Masonic marks on the wall, you know. Look, like that. What's that? So I mean, that's some funny mark, isn't it? So I mean, what is it? What does it mean? What does it represent? You know, we wouldn't even know anyway. Even like I said, we don't know. You know, they're markings on their masonry. You know, we know some of them and we know most of them, you know, what they mean. But, yeah, look, the Masonic floor, look, what's going on here, look? What's this Masonic floor here, look? See? What's that about? You know what I mean? Their symbolism, no matter where you go, knows no bounds. You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, look at this here, look, above the door here, look. That tells me it's Masonically owned. It's still Masonically owned, and always will be Masonically owned. This has nothing to do with the Profane at all. You know, the keystone, look, and the top, the keystone, we had the world domination ball. Obviously the pyramid and all that bollocks. But again, look at the door, look. Are you getting in there? Can a profane person get in there? No. First thing they're going to send here is the security guards, the police, with their little Masonic black and white hats around their fucking heads. You know what I mean? You know? Oh, it's a house by the look of things. But again, who in there? What does he represent? He's right on the king's property, or the lord's or the duke's property. You know? Look, who do you think owns this? Someone who's been working in a chicken factory, or do you think the Crown and the Freakmasons own that? Of course the Freakmasons own it, you know what I mean? But again, it's shut, look, and it's up for sale And who's selling it? A Freemason. Who'll buy it? A Freemason. But they only pretend. They just swap the property around. But they won't put any homeless in there. They won't open it up and make like, you know, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 bed, you know, put 4 rooms in there, you know, little breakfast rooms or something, you know. They'll keep it empty on purpose, you know, and they'll say, oh, where are we going to home? We ain't got enough places to put people. You know what I mean? They'll keep it empty on purpose, so they don't have to home anyone. That's what I mean. They just pass their wealth and their property all about and just play a game. It don't matter who takes it on, Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, or whoever. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Oh, Mr. Jones is selling that. No, it's not Mr. Jones. It's Mr. Masonic Lodge working. Do you know what I mean? And we can't get him to sell it or anything. But the Freemasons own it. You know, and they pass their shit around to each other. As long as they keep that confusion going, they're happy about it. Now, let's see if I can get in here, which I can't. This is Palace of Holyrood, North Garden Gate, in constant use, please do not obstruct. You know what I mean, by the rich elite. But look at the gate, look, everything here is Masonic. It's, you know, all the square and compasses. I don't know if you can spot it, but you got to be profane now not to spot the square and compass. You know what I mean? You know, fleur de pis, look. It's the same pattern in every town and city. You know, look, right at the top, the fleur de pis, it's all squares and compasses. You know what I mean? That compass knows no bounds. Look at the heraldry, look at the lions, the lion on the left and the unicorn on the right. You know what I mean? The lion and the unicorn. It's there because of the importance of it. It's not called a palace for nothing. You know, whether we can get in there for nothing or nothing, I don't know. We'll try it, shall we? Hey, baby. Let's have a look. But even that there, look, the pattern, to me, yeah, is a triple tall cross. Look it up. What do I know, though? Do you know what I mean? I don't know much about it, to be honest. I don't think we can get in here. I think you're more than likely got to pay 400,000 quid. But all the money this is now raking in, yeah, how much are they putting back into society over the years? Not a penny. What do you think these circles are, look? And see the circles, look, within the square, look, the 4 points is the square, look. See, they can't help themselves, look, the 4 points make it into the square. Bloody Freemasons, you know what I mean? Look, even these, look, these are all obelisks. Ooh, scroll out a little bit, all obelisks. You know what I mean? And what do you think, like on this gate here, what do you think the 3 circles mean here, look, the 3 circles here, and the 3 circles at the top. 3, 6, 9. See, 3, 33 degree, 3, 33 degree. See what I mean? All Masonic. And obviously, if you line it up, well, you get the square and compass. You see what I mean? Look. Compass, square, square and compass. And again, look, that's the hieroglyph of the all-seeing eye, but it's the square. You've got the sun hieroglyph. It's all Masonic, my profane friends. You know what I mean? What do you think all this is? That's an obelisk, look. It's Jachin and Boaz. Look at the heraldry. That's what's running your town, what's running your cities, and they're still here today, doing the same thing over and over again. You know, is it free on here or not? We'll find out. If it is, we'll have a little butch round here and see how the other half live, eh? You know what I mean? Let's have a look. I say, good chap, is it free to get in the chaps in here?
No.
Oh, I'm just come to visit the Lord.
It's 21.
Is the Queen? Queen in?
No.
Oh, she's out today, is she? Okay, thank you very much. It's jolly good of you. Have a nice day. But there you go. Again, look, the horse is facing in. You see it? How the horse faces in on this, look. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed on here. He's now going to kick me off. Get off my land. Get off my grass. Look, it faces the other way, look. That's the... See what I mean? Look, it's all Masonic. That's the heraldry of it, yeah? The importance of the people. And again, this here, look, it's the square and compass. These are your lords, dukes and earls that have took all the wealth and the power, look. Or do you think them pyramids there, look? See what I mean? All these windows. Look at the rank of these windows, baby. So wonderful. Ah, right. But that's what it's all about, you know. Right, yeah, that's a church, you know. I think that's a church. There you go, look. See it, look? Fleur de piss on each and every pyramid, look. And with the all-seeing eye, look, and it's the square within the square. I can't see properly, sorry, but you know, and it's just madness, you know. And I'm getting this way anyway. Let's see if we can get in. You know what I mean? 3 pyramids, look. 1, 2, 3. You know, it's all Masonic. You know. Hello. They let you into the shops, look, for free, because then you're spending your money and going poor. See what I mean? Let's see if we can get in. Come on, we'll just sort of like walk casual, and I'll pretend it's free. Yeah. Let's see if we can get in or not for free. You know. But when I lived here back in the day, right, I'm in the main, you know what I mean? See, now all it takes is a little bit of balls and we can get in the gate, you know what I mean? Yeah. Alright, I'll see if I can meet you. Have you got the tickets, have you? Well, you've got the tickets. Okay. Yeah, they've gone in.
Yeah, have you got a ticket as well, sir?
No, they got the ticket, that's what I said.
Well, I need to see the ticket.
I don't know, they're in there somewhere. Can I get to them? Are they going this way or not? I can't go past you?
Yes.
Oh, what about the ticket then?
So if they're able to come back here, we can...
Alright, I'll tell them. Alright. Oh, that's alright, love. You know, you're the top security guard. I love you, you're the best. Right, but she's laughing. Well, no, she isn't. There she is. I don't know. I think she feels bad for kicking me out. She knew I was profane. But again, can you see on the fountain, look, there, the world domination ball and all that on top, look, there's 2 of them, and there's a crown, I presume, and some sort of thing holding a sword and that. It looks like a bear. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what's all these pyramids I'm getting here? Look. Wait a minute, where's the... Yeah, there's a little bear that sits on top, look. I can't... Can you see it, look? The little bear holding like a couple of swords, look. And then behind him, you've got a bigger crown with the world domination ball with the cross. And then to the left, look, you've got a golden ball with an obelisk on, look. The same as this side over here, look, you see? That's the importance of it all. And then you've got all these little pyramids, look, you see? And then look, if you look in the fountain here, and I really can't see, and I'm sorry if I'm not pointing right, can you see the 6 circles, look? But it's 3 and 3. Obviously the 6 points make the square and can't piss, and it goes all the way round, look, you see? Again, you've got the lion, look, within the square. You've got the lion within the square, and I don't know what's on the other ones. Yeah, you've got lions within the square. Wait, I'm just like, I can't focus. But with them 6 points, or the 3 circles above and 3 circles below, we know that makes the square and can't piss. You know, that they're conspiring against me. Look, 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 look. You know what I mean? Watch out, she's sneaking in. Oh. Got my eye on you, love. Oh, I didn't get in. What a peasant. But look at the pyramid on top of this. You see the pyramid, look? Where is it? There, look, you see the pyramid on that cube, right? But what do you see on each side of the door, look? The 3 doors, look. Yeah, or windows. The windows are 9, look. Because it's 9, 9, 9. As above, so below, 6, 6, 6. And the all-seeing eye in the pyramid, look. And it's 3 circles that make a square. Circles, squares and pyramids, you see? And that's what that is. And this is the people that run our fucking towns and cities. You know what I mean? But they're doing it from the Masonic lodges. And that's the lords, the dukes and the earls. Look, you've even got that geezer in here. I forgot his name. Oh, mate. This is going crazy, mate. You know what I mean? Let's go in. Or am I going to get kicked out? Look. Who is that? See what I mean? This is the people they're looking after, you see? Oh, sorry, kind lady. Have a lovely day. And again, above the door, look. See the circles, look? 6 and 6 for 33 degrees, but we know there's 7 there. The 7th circle makes the G, the square and can't piss. I love it. For G, you know, the G travellers. And like I said, they've got these special violent men. Oh, that can't be serious. I don't want to. I'll just do this table, okay, here. And again, they've got you sitting in that configuration of in pyramids. With the circle, and you sit on the square. You see, look, it's there, look, pyramid, circle, and sitting on the square. It's wonderful, isn't it, how they've done that? But it's very posh in here. You've got all the royal family up on the old, look, this is the people they're protecting. You know what I mean, look. These are your head honcho Freakmasons. They're not just Freakmasons, they're actually druids. You know, let's have a look out here. Oh, it's very lovely. I don't know if I'm allowed out here. Push. I'll go out here anyway. they want to kick me off, they can kick me off again. I don't want. There's people there. So look again. Look, see the configuration on the table. Look, 3 chairs. There's nothing there. The other one's facing the other way. But you see the 3 chairs. Look, round table, sitting on the square, pyramid, square, and circle. How wonderful it is! I'm telling you. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's all Masonic, my profane friends, and they look after the elites. And these people. Oh, there you go. And these are the ones these are the top ranking Freemasons, and it's the Freemasons in every town and city making sure these people stay in power, keep the wealth, and that the profane, the peasants, you know, the ones they pour the boiling water on, stay out of the places where you're not supposed to belong, because they don't want you standing next to them, you know, like I was in the tent, you know, when the lads, the malads, you know, all them lads, they didn't want me there. They kicked me out, didn't they? Because they, you know, they were the toffs, the ones looking after it. But all the money that's coming into here, all the money, you imagine all the money that these richer lords and the dukes and the elites are what are now pulling in, yeah? All the money that comes from here, yeah, is all pouring into their coffers. And the profane are keeping them in wealth. Do you see what I mean? All of it. You can spot them a mile off. They're all the shills and the gatekeepers, you know what I mean? Actually, they're on the gate, you know. They don't know they're doing it like the MLAs and stuff. You know, look, they're part of the workers. Whether they're top ranking or not, they're going to find out. Excuse me, my ladies.
Hello.
Are you, do you work here? Yeah, that's what I thought. So, like, with all like the squares and the circles and the pyramids, is that not Freemasonry that runs this place? That in? How's that? They're royals though, aren't they? The lords, the dukes and the earls. What are these? Dukes, earls or kings or queens?
Kings and queens.
These are kings and queens. These are palaces then, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. But with all the squares and the circles and all that and the pyramids, ain't that a clue that that's like sort of Egyptians and that, you know? Are they druids as well, aren't they?
I wouldn't know actually.
That's what I mean. See, we need to
know.
research these people.
See if you actually speak to one of the wardens, they've got more of the historical side
have
of
they?
it. Speak to them.
Yeah.
There.
Well, that one there, she tried to get me in a headlock when I tried to sneak in the place, you know what I mean?
Well, that's
What are you
their
laughing
job.
at? I'm serious. She's like, you
That's
know.
their job.
Yeah, you need a ticket to go through that way.
Yeah, I know, you're telling me. I tried to come away. I mean, if I was tough enough, I'd have beat her up like, but she's a bit bigger than me, so I thought I'd let her get off with that, you know. She would slap me around, you know what I mean? Or she would call me a peasant, get out. Anyway, have a good day, girls. Remember, I love you. But again, look, you can see, even when I'm pointing out the pyramids, the circles and the squares, yeah, what are all over the place, they'll deny it. See, of course they'll deny it, because they know exactly what's going on, do you see what I mean? And that's what will happen, you know, when you put it on the table to them and you front them, you know, like these 3 doors here, look. See, the 3 doors, yeah? And you've got the pyramid above, look, you've got the pyramid above, and then if you look above, it's sitting on a cube, yeah, which is the square on the square, yeah. But again, look, you've got 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. See, just in circles, so it's 6, 6, 6. Each window is 9, 9, 9. I don't even know if I'm pointing right, but it's 9, 9, 9. As above, so below, 6, 6, 6. But when you put it to them and confront them on it, they deny it. You know, it's all Lucifer. You know what I mean? I think it's, I don't know, wait there, she's picked up on me, she's following me, whether she is or not, I don't know, we'll see. But that's what they do, once you start spotting them and getting them, they follow you, you know what I mean? But look at that here, I've got a closer look at the fountain now, look, see the lions are within the square, they're your points within the square, you see? And then here, look, you've got 6 and 6, oh sorry, I can't see, like I said it's sunny, but focus in, girls and boys. Let me just wipe my screen, that might be because of that. But on this fountain, and is it focusing in? I think it's not focusing in because of the it's blurry itself, I think. I don't know. Wait there, let me come out, wait a minute. Let's go like that, let it focus in nicely and come in, and it still don't focus. Oh yeah, there you go, look. So these are 6, look, 6, 6, 6, but we know 3 circles make a square, so you know, so it's, well, so what is that? I don't know, you tell me. But we've got the squares and the circles, look, in between, look. So it's 3, look, it's 3 with the 2 squares, 3, 2, 3, you see? And that's what it is. And then obviously as you get more, it gets more decorative. I don't know what these are here, but it shows you what they are. I can't show you, I don't think, it's not playing the game today, you know what I mean? But that lion has got 2 swords or something, you know? But that's what it is. What do you think these gold, look, the gold world domination balls with the obelisk on? These are the people controlling your town and city, and these people are protecting them. You know what I mean? That's why they got it on there. You see, you know, the Royal Arch, the top as you can get. Actually, it's 25 quid to get in there. Look, adult, young person, 16 quid. So all that money, yeah. Remember, we just have a lottery ticket. All these people that are going through there, I should stay. Yeah, look, there they go. Look, yeah, right teats. Look, you know what I mean? But that's the thing. All them people now going in there paying £25. How many hundred? Look, it's what's that? 50, 100. I'm looking at about £1,000 just by here. Look at the police box at the back. I didn't see that. How wonderful that is. Can you see that circle? Look, in that blue box there at the back. Look, you see it? See the circle within the pyramid? Look, the all-seeing eye. And that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, and they're controlling it. Go on, kind lady. All right. Again, even here, look, in plain right, look, 232. 232 right in the middle, 232, pure Masonic cubes. Do you know what I mean? It's 666. It's there in plain right. You know, you're dealing with Lucifer, and no one understands it. You know, but we'll teach them, we'll learn them, but it's going to be a slow process. You know, I don't know what this is supposed to be. You know what I mean? What the hell is that? And there's well, that's not actually. I walked up there many times thinking that was the bloody Arthur's seat, but it's not. It's the con. That one. That one is terrible, you know what I mean? 3 pyramids on that building. See it, look? How wonderful. Well, this is the royals, you know, look. See the pyramids with the fleur de pis on that? See? They built it into the whole of everything, the fabrication of our lives, you know? And that's the thing. But once you start explaining it like I did to that lady round there, telling her that that is 232, a Masonic cube, and that there is a Masonic cube of 6, and then the one in the middle is a Masonic cube of 666. We're dealing with Satan, the Luciferian order of the all-seeing eye, and their pervert little empire built into every town and city, and they don't use castles anymore like this. What they're using are Masonic lodges. You know what I mean? And they're pretending that they're doing all this charity and whatever else, but they own all the property, all the shops, all the wealth. There ain't nothing that they don't own. There he is, look, the crown. What has he got in his hand? Look, he's got his wand and his sword. But look at him, look, he's standing on the crown with the fleur de pis and the Knights Templar cross. But he's wearing the crown, the lion. You've got to look for the lions within society. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. You can't get better than that, my profane friends. What sort of church is this? Look, again, we've got the circle, yeah, and there's 3 windows at the top. But you've got the circle within the pyramid, look. Come down, you've got the sun god, yeah, of Ra in the window above. And then what you got there? A little black and white tile floor. And then you got another pyramid with the square within the circle and the all-seeing eye, and we know that these 4 circles here is actually 5 circles, and that gives you the 232 of the Masonic cube. But no one understands it. And if you look at this frigging door, it explains a lot. Look at the door, look, and I ain't got to go too far into it. Oh, wait there. What's that? I wonder what that is. 2 X's. What does that mean? What does this fleur de pis mean? Do you see what I mean? What could it possibly mean? Yeah, it's Luciferian. But notice, yeah, that some of these are missing. Look, where's that gone? Where's that gone? So does that say anything to people? Of course it does. It says a lot to the Freakmasons, or those that have learned the symbolism of what it means and what it is. Yeah, because that is some sort of writing that we don't understand, and we are not taught to understand it. You're not supposed to understand it. The people that understand this door, yeah, are the elites, and what that is there is braille or hieroglyphs for the elites to understand it, not you, the elites. You see, look, it's got the odd one there, look, you see, you got the one there, and you got 2 on this one, look, you see. But that is some sort of form of writing. You can just see the sentence there, look, you can read it. It's like, wow, but they won't tell you that. Do you know what I mean? They ain't going to explain any of that to you. But that's some form of braille on the door, and you don't understand it. But there it is, look, right up there, look. You know what I mean? See, look, the black and white tile floor, my profane friends. Pure Masonic with a sun hieroglyph. That's what you're dealing with, and they do it from the Masonic lodges. And they're telling you, you just got to work it out. but they won't. Look at the top of that pyramid there with the pedo swells here, look. You got the fleur de pis, look, you see? It's amazing, isn't it? The way they've got away with it. You know what I mean? No one understands it, no one cares. You know, let's try and see these. I go, I ain't got a clue, because no one's got a fucking clue. Not even I have, you know what I mean? Excuse me, do you understand the braille on the door? You see the dots on the door, yeah? They're different, yeah? On the door there, that door. The black dots, yeah? That's braille, do you understand it? No? Oh, I think you've got to be like a king or a queen to understand that. Do you see what I mean? That's braille. Very ancient sign language that they would only understand, you see? Do you understand the black and white tile floor in the window? The black and white tiles are Freemasonry? No? Okay. And the three leaves at the top are the fleur de lis, where they married into the French, the kings and the queens. And the pyramids that sit on the square, look, on the cubes, the Masonic cubes. Strange, isn't it? See the cubes? That's what I'm on about here, look, the cubes. They sit on the Masonic cubes. See, there's three of them, you see? And you got the big one. But it's strange that people don't understand it. All right, thank you very much, kind ladies. Look at that black and white tile floor. If that don't tell you something there, and that's the king, you know what I mean? I wonder if you got to pay to get in the old gallery. Let's have a look. You know me, always have a go. If we can sneak in, that'll be great. In fact, that looked like the beehive there. You see it? Is that supposed to represent the beehive of Freemasonry? I don't know. No, I just think it's a lie. But yeah, madness, isn't it? All hidden in plain right. Bloody Freemasons. I bet it's about 100 quid to get in here. Let's have a look anyway. Alright, girls and boys, take it easy. You know what I mean? I'm in with the Queen anyway, so it's alright, yeah? Are you a bouncer, are you?
No, I'm scanning tickets.
You're a what?
I'm scanning
I ain't got a ticket.
Okay.
Is that the king there, isn't it?
Yep, sorry, there's no filming in this bit because
Oh,
it's
isn't there?
copyright. Sorry.
What copyright?
As in the photographer owns the copyright for the images.
Oh, does he? Oh, right. What would happen then? Would he, like, fine me?
He just gets a bit upset.
Would he?
doesn't he?
Is he royal, is he?
The photographer?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, he's not a royal. What is he then? Just a commoner?
He's a photographer.
Oh, he's just a tramp. Well, a peasant. Yeah, all right, thank you. Have a nice day. The photographer would be upset. But look, this is what they're looking after, you see? The royals, you know, we know what the royals have done. And that's all their wars for wealth and power. Remember, she was sleeping with a criminal, you know, what was associated with the Crays. Princess Anne, how about that? So how did the Crays and the royals get involved with the Cray twins? Again, that's in my videos, you know. I think it's wonderful. You know, look, they're protecting there, look. Oh, she's gone. But there it is, look, you see it there, look. The Masonic cube in the plate, in the circle, you see? 2, 3, 2, see? 6 sides and all that, you know what I mean? The Masonic cube, look, right in the middle. With the heraldry. See, that's what you're up against. You're fighting these bastards. You know what I mean? Look, red lodge. There's your red lodge. And then you got your blue lodge over this side. See? Blue lodge, look. Red lodge masonry, blue lodge masonry. And then you got your purple lodge. If you know about purple lodge, you know what I mean? Look, you got your purple lodge. It's all the royal colours. I think that's cool. But they don't. They don't even know about it. They just think, oh, it's a pretty colour. And that's it. But it all represents the royals. The royalty. You know what I mean? Hello. Have a nice day. You're welcome. And there you go. Right, there's a policeman over there. What are they called? Eastern Star! Yo, yeah, Eastern Star. She's looking, yeah. Lady! Eastern Star, yeah. Yeah, I'll ask her. How do I get into town centre, love? Yeah, it's the big job of the day. I love it, you know what I mean, baby? You what, kind lady? I'm looking for a graveyard. I've been looking for it ages. I can't find one.
Well, there is a graveyard just up where.
The left.
See that? There's one up there. There's Calton Road Cemetery.
Yeah, there, that one. Yeah, that'll do. Anyone?
Or there's one further up. St.
Yeah, I'll go to that
Cuthbert's.
one as well. You know what I mean? I look for the old signs. You know what I mean? And the symbols.
Well,
do you understand them?
There's I don't know about symbols, but there's plenty old graveyards. Yeah,
How come you call it Pelias?
It's Gaelic.
Is it Gaelic? Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No need to brag. I know Gaelic. I made
I don't.
It. Oh, didn't you? Oh,
No.
Yeah, like, I mean, with the royals, I've just come out of there.
Right.
The Queen weren't in today, but she was lovely when, you know, she was. Anyway, do you understand that floor over there on that windowlet, the black and white tile floor? Matches your hat, doesn't it?
Yeah,
See?
it does,
So they
yeah.
used to be policemen, did you know that?
Right.
Hey, yeah, see you later, love. Oh, Berry, you're so exciting. Right, and there you go with the old pyramids and that. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy, I'll tell you. They ain't got a clue what they're doing. They're just like protecting these people, these parasites, you know. And they earn money off us all the time, but they put nothing back in. You know, look, Holyrood gift shop, yeah, that'll be given to like one of the lower class dukes or earls or lords, making sure their family has a profitable business, so they will always have money in their pocket. But you can see the 6 pyramids, look, 3 and 3 for 33 degree. It's still owned by whoever. It's the Royal Mile, of course. But look beside, look, each side of the shop, look, you've got your little pyramid with the all-seeing eye, look, you see. It's amazing. But that'll be run by some little turdy dukes, you know what I mean? You think they want you knowing all this information? Of course they don't.
Stop.
You know what I mean? Oh, I thought you meant me. He's going stop. Oh, stop there, mate. You more than likely saved my life anyway. You alright? Yeah, bugger him. You know what I mean? Bloody Freemason. I knew he was a Freemason because he had CC on his car. You know what I mean? CC, silly clown, you see. Right, anyway, and then look, there's your Masonic family that run this place, yeah. These, when these they get into trouble, these royals, oh there, when these royals get in trouble, they call this family to arms and they protect these people. That's all it is. It's all to do with families, heraldry and the royals, do you know what I mean? Royals, the lords, the dukes and the earls, do you know what I mean? But no one understands it, you know. And that's the trouble with it. We've got to understand it. We've got to get him in a headlock. And here come the graveyard, look. Oh, it's a beautiful one. It's a lovely graveyard. Look at that. I can't wait to get in there. You know what I mean? Alive, that is. You know what I mean? Where's the entrance, you know? I'm so excited. I want to go in that puddle. But, oh. Look at that. It's going to be great. This graveyard, I'm telling you, it's going to have all the elite of the elite of the elite. And look how they shut some of these gates out. Look, there's windows in here, look. You see how they blocked that off, look. See the arch in there, look. Now if they can hide that, there's an arch here. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is so exciting, I can't believe it. Let me go on this side. You know what I mean? Oh, look, watch this, I'm going to show you some symbolism. But anyway, you got the normal pyramids. You can't go without the pyramids. But look at this up here. I'll show you some. You tell me if these Freemasons don't run this area. Yeah. Off the path, mate. Thank you. See, you got to tell them they're Freemasons. I know they are. You've got to order them about. Well, they don't do as they're told. Right, let me just go up here. There's the graveyard, yeah. And I'm going in here, but I want to just show you the symbolism I can see from here. You know what I mean? Look at this. Their knowledge and power amongst the communities, no bounds, and they're working together, you know. And it's just like Day of the Body Snatchers, or you know, where they take over bodies, you know, and they see someone who's not amongst them, and all they do is isolate them, pick them off, gang stalk them and pervert them. Now look at the little pyramids on here. Look, you see the little pyramids? Oh, there's a square and compass as well. What a surprise. See, it's all square and compass. And look, 3 levels, look, and the pyramid right at the top. I don't know if you can see it, but we'll just do the middle one. Look. So who do you think, I don't know if I can get that one there, but who do you think runs this? See, look at the windows, 6, 6, 6. Do you see what I mean, my profane friends? And then over this side, we've got the same configuration. But again, what do you think this pyramid here is, right? With this big obelisk and then the pyramid on top that sits on the square, look, you see? Pyramid on the square, and then you've got the square and compass here, look. See? It's so silly. Slow down, love. You know, doing about 100 miles an hour, you know what I mean? What's going on there, like? But as you can see, look, who do you think owns and runs this? Do you think someone working in a factory would own all these 6 windows? You know what I mean? Or would they own all these square and compasses on the 3 levels? And even the gate, look. Let me show you the gate. It's so amazing, it's unreal. Look, what do you reckon? See, they can't. This this turf or this patch or this gang related area is run by the Masonic order. You know, look, there's the heraldry of it all, look, who owns this with the little Masonic pots on top, look, you see? They've owned this for decades and centuries, you know what I mean? All of this is owned by Freemasons, but they'll plead poverty. We've got no money, we can't do this, we can't do that, you know what I mean? All they do is just put a bunch of money out, yeah? See, look, this used to be the dungeons, look, see? This is more likely a secret entrance to one of their tunnels, you know? You just don't know. You know what I mean? Look, how Masonic can you get? Look, who do you think owns this? Hey? Who do you think own all this with the pyramids right on the top? Look, they're telling you who owns it. They're telling you who runs it. Fucking hell, that's just amazing. All the windows are 6. Look, 6, 6, 6. Lucifer, Lucifer. You see what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? But they own all this real estate, you know what I mean? He's just come out of there. Shit, I could have asked him a question. Is that private or like? Oh, it is, okay, yeah. Yeah, this private. They're not council houses, are they? No, I thought they weren't. Alright, but why they all got square and compasses on them? Cragwell Brewery and all that. Why they got like the square and compass all over it? Like, look, that's a square and compass, isn't it? Look, on all the, you know. Do you know why?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a real tank man, are you?
Yeah, this is the veterans' residence, mate.
Oh,
so
is it? Oh, the
yeah.
veterans. Good, I love it. Best way. Well done, I love you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. That's a veterans tank for the veterans, which is nice, isn't it? I like that. But, and this is the problem with it, yeah? Right there, look at that, beautiful, isn't it? But if you notice, look, these, look, you got square and compass once, square and compass twice, square and compass 3 times, yeah? Because remember, that's what we're dealing with, yeah? It's 6, 6, 6 all the time. Now, because they're veterans, right, that don't mean they're more liable to work for the elites and the royals. Do you see what I mean? He's going, oh, I don't know why, but he knows, do you know what I mean? You're not getting in them ranks like that. You're not in charge of a tank unless you're Freemason, you know what I mean? Yeah? But if you understand it, look, so on each side, yeah, I can't even see, they are there, yeah? So on this side, look, it's 1 square and compass, look, and then on the other side, on the corner, is the 2nd square and compass, and then this one in the middle, see? So again, each level, look, is 6, 6, 6, you see? So you see what I mean? And that's what that is, so it's all 6, 6, 6 of Lucifer. It's amazing, isn't it, how they got away with that? But no one cares. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's all safe. You know what I mean? They don't own anything along here. I'm telling you, it's all a fantasy and all a like, made up story. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm so excited for these Freemasons. The truth will be known. The truth will come out. And we, you know, yeah, look, veterans, you see, which is nice. But remember, these veterans, a lot of them are Freemasons. That's why they're in these posh hotels, because they're high ranking. They don't put you in charge of a tank, yeah, unless you're a Freemason. You know what I mean? The only thing they give a profane person is a rifle or a gun. You see what I mean? You can't be in control of a tank unless you're a Masonic Master Mason. You know what I mean? But anyway, they're the ones in control of all wars. You know, like church and that. Now I'm going to this church, I'm going to stop the video and then I'll start it fresh.